right, I'm back. I'm the host. All right, I'm hit the record button now. Revolutionary greetings and hotep, everybody, and welcome to this special presentation, this Zoom presentation that me and Brother Bennie are going to present to you today, in the hope that you will see the vision that we see and take action. Uh, we're going to be talking about generational wealth. The topic of discussion is going to be why generational wealth. But before we get started, we're going to introduce ourselves. Like I said, my name is Kwame Binta, and I am an active member of the UNIA and ACL, which stands for the Universal Negro Improvement Association and African Communities League, uh, founded by the Right Excellent Marcus Messiah Garvey. I'm one of the founding members of Division 456 here in Richmond, Virginia, and I am proud to say that I am a proud Garveyite, and I am doing everything in my power currently to continue on his work to free Africa, create a United States of Africa, and free all African people no matter where we are. Uh, I am a professional network marketer right now. We have the perfect vehicle that I hope that some of the people that watch this video will see that this vehicle that we have can get us on the road to freedom, because that's what this is really all about. Uh, so our other co-host is Brother Beanie, and I'm going to let him introduce himself and speak.
Thank you, Brother Kwame. Appreciate that. My name is Bennie Holly. I'm also a UNIA member, Division 967, Jacksonville, Florida. And I joined like a year ago. I've been in the movement. And I have been looking for a way to financially build wealth for my family, and came across Brother Binta, and he introduced me to the Wealth Builders organization, and I joined, and I've been running with that ever since. So I'm just here to, you know, push the agenda that we all need in our family to build generational wealth. So,
Okay. All right, so before we go any further, we're going to show a short video. This is by another organization. This organization is the uh, African People's Socialist Party. Okay, we're not really affiliated with them, but they do have some good programs. And this brother's in South Africa. Right now, the people are rising up in many places: Cuba, Haiti, uh, Ethiopia, Congo, um, everywhere. Basically, the people are tired of being left behind, tired of being used and abused by this colonial capitalist system that has no respect for the people on the planet. So I'm going to go ahead and do a little PowerPoint presentation and bring this short video in so you can basically get some information firsthand from some people that's on the street, that's right there working in Africa, South Africa to be more exact, uh, for our freedom and liberation. Uh, because we know that the major news media, they're not giving us the whole story, and they're not even giving us half the truth. So I give thanks for the internet. You know, I give thanks that now we can get information from the people that's out there, you know, on the front lines, working for our liberation and our freedom. So here we go.
Right then, Uhuru Africa and Uhuru comrades, as well as others who are checking out this live. My name is Asa Somali Anpu. I am from the African People's Socialist Party and Uhuru Movement in occupied Tanzania, South Africa, in another name. And we would like to report on what happened yesterday and the days following that. You know, today is the 13th of July, 2021. And yesterday there was a event in KZN as well as Gauteng regarding the so-called looting of stores and the burning of streets and whatnot. African people are all over the place. It's social upheaval and it's a crisis for this country. So we have, as a party, decided to respond to this thing because we see that the South African government and South African media are trying to demonize African working class people. They're trying to attack black masses and call us all kinds of names. And of course, this is something that they're saying in order to instill a mentality to what they have already been doing. So we wrote a statement as the party, and it's titled, "Who are the real looters?" by the African People's Socialist Party. It's interactive, but also it is concise in terms of trying to get to the point. There has been a widespread attack on African malls in KwaZulu-Natal, as well as Gauteng, as well as in Mpumalanga, you know, increasingly. Some say that this is a feeling, this is due to a feeling of loyalty to ex-president Jacob Zuma. Others say that it's because the lockdown was extended by Ramaphosa. We wonder if the African working class who suffer colonially imposed poverty and violence have or should have loyalty to a neo-colonial puppet of South Africa, be it Jacob Zuma or Ramaphosa. Is that really the reason? Is that the reason that people who are oppressed rise up and tear up the streets? We don't think so. The Uhuru movement, the African working class, does not think that is the reason for that happening. So what is the reason behind these attacks on the malls? What is the reason behind the, you know, taking of food, oils, all kinds of things, sources, right? Yesterday and today. What has been the reason? Because the media, the South African media talked on it, but you haven't heard a perspective from black poor people yet. And this is something that's going to be necessary to do. So excuse me. We say, what are the objective factors that have resulted in the crisis for the country? Objective factors, not subjective factors, not feelings. We don't want to hear that loyalty to a certain person. We don't want to hear about love or anger. No, we want to talk about objective factors that led to the situation, right? Poverty of black masses. Are black people poor? Yes or no? It's an objective thing. You can't debate about it. Why are they poor? Why are black masses poor? Okay. Poverty of the black masses, ownership of the means of production in the hands of the bourgeoisie. Is this a fact or not? It's not a subjective question. Ownership of the means of production, the things that the factories, the roads, the land, is it in the hands of white people? Is it in the hands of white ruling class? Is it in the hands of all these colonizers, or is it in the hands of black poor people in the ghetto? These are objective things that you cannot really quibble about, right? How did the bourgeoisie get these resources? How did white people get this factory that they're living in, owning, this farm, this firm, the land, the roads, the mines? How did they get them? How? That's the question.
Stolen.
Okay. Third point, violence from the colonial state is another objective factor. So there's three factors. It's the poverty of the black masses, ownership of the means of production in the hands of the bourgeoisie, and violence from the colonial state. What is the colonial state? The colonial state is a state of the colonizer. Who is the colonizer? That's the white man, right? He created South Africa. South Africa is his law, it's his government. So his state, his police upholds the law, upholds the government, the South African government. That's what the state is. So it's a state based on colonialism. It's a colonial state against the colonized for the purpose of the colonizer, for the benefit of the colonizer. Why? is the state exhibiting violence? It's because it's exhibiting violence because the state must protect one class against another. When did the state come into being? This state came into being in 1652 when this country was conceived. So Jan van Riebeeck was actually a template and the blueprint of the South African state. If you think Jan van Riebeeck came here with guns and somehow that's different from your local policeman from the SAPS, then you need to read history again. Now, these objective factors played a role in yesterday's occurrence. The resources that Black workers took were minimal, were small, mini. They were very small. I do not care. I saw people filling up trolleys after trolleys and 4 carloads with all kinds of resources from Vanderbilt to Everton Mall and Palm Springs and KZN. Small, all of it. Those resources were minimal to our needs because they're not going to be able to feed our community. I'm talking about our community. I'm not talking about one person. I'm talking about the entire African community, the entire African nation even. I could talk about a single African population in a province and it'll never be enough anyway, right? They are minimal to our needs and they are unable to be equal to the losses for over 400 years since the inception of this country. They can't cover that cost. Things that were taken, where did they come from? And how did the mall get them? I hear about people saying that we're looting the malls. Where did the loot from the malls come from? Okay, we're gonna break it down. It came from companies, right? Tedelex, Hisense, all these companies, Ellerines, Joshua Door, if Joshua Door is still around. All these companies got these products from factories. Now, the question is, where did these factories get these products from? And where are these factories? These factories are on land. They're not in space. They're not occupying the air or the ether. These factories are right here on African soil, first of all, and using African labor. People who work at the factories, do they live in the suburbs? No, sir, they live in the ghettos. Where are the ghettos? The ghettos are the places where the people are taking from the malls in the first place. So that's what we have to understand. The workers are in the ghetto. The ghetto is a part of the colony. South Africa created the ghetto to keep Black people there. We got to be aware of that, brothers and sisters. South Africa is the real looter. Therefore, consequently, as a result, we know that South Africa is the real criminal. It is the real looter. Looting Africa for centuries, while people are pinning us as the criminals, while the masses of my people, our people, African workers, for 500 to 600 years, 621 years, Brother Jay, right? 621 years. This country's been looting. Imperialism, colonialism has been looting Africa for 621 years. And now yesterday, they just blew up the entire world and told everybody about Black poor people being looters in a 24-hour span. That was the reality in this. The police chief, right? The South African police chief, as well as entire state, they made statements this morning, will not do anything new. After their statements, I'm not talking about their statements, I'm talking about their actions. I don't care what their statements are, because they probably sound nice to themselves. They will not do anything new to African people. Whether their statement is wanya tsotsi or washa tsotsi or shoot to kill, I don't care what their statement is. The fact of the matter is, it's nothing new to African people. It's nothing new. The tsotsi that they speak about is the African poor masses. You understand? They've never, ever, ever in the history of South Africa seen the South African Police Defense Forces or South African Police Services shooting a white person here. Not even accidentally, like they just did in Braamfontein, not even purposely like they did yesterday and killed 6 African workers. So there's no need for us to concern ourselves about what the state, the chief exactly said, what's his policy. No, there's nothing new he's going to do. Not say, but do. What must be done? Because we're going to have to bring this back to ourselves as African workers. we have seen certain situations, and I want to speak on this issue, that African workers who are from outside this country, this border that white people created, were threatened yesterday, were feeling uneasy, you understand? We're actually involved in some violence where people who think they are different from them, from us, right, from who we are, started attacking the shops from Somalia, from Zimbabwe, from Congo, and every other place, from Ghana. Yes, sir. We attack African people. There is no criticism at all from anybody who is criticizing colonialism. What the colonizers did by taking away African people from our resources, from our land, from each other. So when we come back and see each other as aliens and foreigners, it's not a result of ourselves as African people working in our own interest. It's us working in the interest of the white ruling class, in the interest of the South Africans, in the interest of the so-called rulers of this country, right? That's the South Africans, that's the white people, not you. If you're black, you are very far away from South Africa. In fact, South Africa is anti-black. If you're black, you are not a South African. You are not a Somalian. You're not a Nigerian. You're nothing but an African. Just like the rest of us. You're just like me. Right? Yeah. So this is something that we have to be able to understand. We need an African revolution. An African revolution. Yesterday, people were talking about everything being taken from the malls. And we say this as the African People Socialist Party. We say everything that people got was a piece of what is ours. We took a piece of it, right? We just don't know that it's ours. We just don't know that, you know? And we just do not understand the fact that you may take a feather, but what you really want is the whole chicken, right? You may take an egg and say these eggs are so useful, you know, you break your neck just to snatch an egg, but really what you want is the whole chicken. Let's not lie to ourselves as the African working class. Let's not let this white man and these rich black people and politicians, these councillors, these ANC folk, all the way to the EFF folk and everybody else up in there in parliament. Don't let these people, these jokers, jive us. Don't let these people trick us and tell us that we are looting this and that. No, no, no. Everything that we took yesterday is small, very small.
It's coming back.
Who is producing them? Who are the producers? I know farm owners. I've never seen farmers, because the farmers are usually either stuck in the farms, living inside shanties there, or they're living inside the ghetto and waking up at 3 a.m. to go work for Mr. Van Beek van der Klak. Do you understand? So that's the real issue of where everything else comes from. We need to know. We need to know that we are the workers, right? We are the workers. We are the producers of everything. And therefore, unemployment is not possible for a slave under slavery, because some of our people are being told that we're going to starve, you know, in Gauteng and in KZN. And of course, this is a case that might happen and will happen, right? Why will it happen? It's because we are not owning the means of production. We're only going to starve because there's no food. Why is there no food? Because the factories, the land is not in our hands. So we can't create those things. It's not that there's no factories. We didn't burn up the factories, like I said. We didn't burn up the food. We took the food, but the factory's still there. No one's working in the factory. Why? Because the white man said so, not because there are no people. So that's part of the reason. So there's no such thing as unemployment. It's a myth. It's a myth called unemployment. It is not possible for a slave to be unemployed under slavery. If I'm sitting on the corner selling cigarettes, or I'm sitting down in a corner depressed there, not knowing what I'm going to do with my life, that is part of what slavery is. That's the job that I'm doing for South Africa. That's what the white man needs me to do. There are two jobs at least to even prove this thing. There's a job called loss of land, which is having all this land in Africa, right, taken by corporations, companies, mines, big white people's businesses, gigantic churches, schools, parliaments, cities, and pushing poor people, black people, into the ghettos, small spaces where we live in. That's part of the job that we're in. So if you're having an argument with your neighbor because your neighbor crossed the little fence that you have in the ghetto, you are doing what? You're doing jobs there. You're doing work there. You're doing work for this country. Second job that every African has who's a worker, threat of labor. Threat of labor happens when there's 11 people or 12 people or whatever number of people, and then one of them gets chosen to work. And then the other number of people is sitting there waiting for their turn. So now the boss can exploit you as much as possible, and you can't even turn back and say, no, I've had enough of this. You can't do that because the boss will quickly kick you out, and there's many other people who are willing to take your space for even less the price. That's called the threat of labor. It's a game that the white capitalist boss plays on the people. So the firms and factory bosses should have been the ones that we took home yesterday. The firms and the factory bosses, the mine owners, the CEOs, the De Beers mines, the Johann Ruperts. Those are the people we should have taken home with us yesterday. Maybe in small pieces. Everybody get a piece of them, right? And take them home with us. That's the thing that was supposed to have yesterday. We should have came home with a piece of these people, not just what they steal from us. Because they are going to do it again. You let them live, they are going to do it again. You let them stay there in that factory and own it, they're going to close the factory and starve you to death. They can do whatever they want to do. They can burn the factory down. They can leave with all the resources that you have created as that factory. They can pick it up in small pieces and go back to Portugal or Netherlands, wherever the hell these white people come from. So we have to be aware of that. Target the bourgeoisie, target the white ruling class, target the South Africans. You understand? Got to be clear on that. We need to take over the means of production as the black working class. We are not looking for Julius Malema or whoever the other Negro is who talks about black stuff, who's talking about, don't worry, if you're black and you're a billionaire, you can keep the land. No, no, no. We're talking workers here. It's the end of that. Everybody else who's up with the white man up there, they're leaving with the white man. So, in conclusion, brothers and sisters, please join the African People's Socialist Party and the Uhuru movement, our effort to build in South Africa and help us destroy the country that has looted Africa and African people for all these years. This is what we need to be able to do. So I will implore everyone to share this message, share this widely as possible, make sure it gets out to each and every poor person.
Okay, that was it. What do you think about that, Brother Benny?
I think that's awesome. I totally agree with a lot of stuff he was saying, especially about ownership. You know, just owning, just being able to own your own and being able to pass that down. I feel like is a big part of, whatever you own, you can always have that inheritance to pass down to your family generation because you own it. Like, for instance, land.
They stole, and they stole the land,
You know what I mean?
And that's the thing about it, and it's like they're still benefiting from stolen land, and South Africa is no better than it was when the Europeans were completely in charge. We have the petty bourgeoisie Negroes, just like we got here in the United States, right? They're satisfied with the crumbs that they're getting, because that's just their mindset, and the reason why generational wealth is missing from us is because slavery was an act of war. It basically was an act of war, and it took generations for us to get to this point in time. Slavery almost destroyed us as a people. And I don't mean no disrespect when I say that it began with the Arabs first under Islam, and then the European under Christianity. The three major religions, they basically are military entities. That's what they are. This thing called manifest destiny that the European used to take all of the North, South, and Central America is what they call it now, from the indigenous people. They did it under manifest destiny, which means that it was their God-given, ordained right to just do whatever necessary to take this land. And that's why the people who were once here, they're living on concentration camps today that they want to call reservations. You know, they're worse off than we are, believe it or not, on their own land. They have a high rate of unemployment, drug addiction, rape, violence. You don't even want to go on a reservation. You know, it's not even safe to be on a reservation. And the children are being kidnapped, still being kidnapped today. From the first day when Columbus came here, that's what he started doing, kidnapping the children, taking them to Europe. You know, so religion basically was created to separate us. And the only successful slave revolt took place in Haiti. And that country's been under attack since it declared its freedom from France, defeating Napoleon and all the other colonial nations whose wealth and power depended on the enslavement of African people and the theft of the land. You know, this is where they got their wealth from, enslavement and theft of land. So it's important for us to get generational wealth. You know, my studies have shown us that we were the first here. We gave the world everything good, great, all the sciences, both physical and spiritual. And the mother of civilization is the Black woman. And she must be revered. She must be revered again because she is the most abused person throughout history, the Black woman, you know. And so today we live under this system that's diametrically opposed to our system of Maya. Okay, the system that we're under is built under genocide, slavery, murder, theft, child trafficking, a system that has no respect for the people or the planet. It stands on violence, and violence is necessary for it to sustain itself. That's why we have the police state. That's why we have police shooting and killing unarmed Black men, boys, women, and children here in the United States and everywhere. Like the brother said, 6 Africans were killed yesterday, but they don't kill the white man. They don't shoot the white man in South Africa, you know? And our ancestors worked for centuries here for free under horrifying conditions, the most horrifying conditions ever imagined, to make this country the wealthiest country with the largest military in the world, and also to make the rest of the European nations wealthy. And our ancestors never received compensation, and neither have the offspring. So reparations is due, but we must give ourselves internal reparations also. Okay, Brother Ken Bridges, the late great Ken Bridges, who was the founder of the Mai Tai movement, he wanted to start an African center, distribution center, similar like Amway, network marketer. He was once an Amway top earner, but he was assassinated by the so-called DC sniper coming from a meeting in North Carolina. Because we understand that, you know, slavery was an act of war based on economics. You know, we were the first commodities on Wall Street, you know. Colonization allowed European to create generational wealth under the system of colonial capitalism, like I mentioned before, manifest destiny. Gave the invaders and enslavers the divine right to label and define everything, to kill, steal, rape, lynch, and use any means necessary and available to take over the wealth and resources of the planet. That's why we don't have the resources. That's why we don't control the means of production. They made laws to make sure that we couldn't do that after 1968. The country put in place more new laws designed to make sure that we were never able to achieve economic prosperity. And if we did, it would take a very long time. It would be a very hard road. They came up with the thing called black codes, peonage laws. We couldn't serve or testify in court. We couldn't own land. We couldn't own businesses. We couldn't own the guns. We couldn't vote. And we couldn't even live in certain towns. So they came up with segregation, Jim Crow, drug laws, COINTELPRO. And whatever we did to create some sense of peace and prosperity, you know what they did? They destroyed it through violence or by using their laws that were made to serve in their best interest. So generational wealth is important because this system is collapsing. I'm gonna let you go ahead and chime in, brother, because I've been talking for a minute. You know, if
You
you want to
good, brother.
share some
Yes,
things of
sir.
what happened.
Yes, sir. I mean, I don't mind because I'm new to like doing live like this and stuff like that. So I might not always articulate as well as others, So it's okay with me if you're able to articulate the information better than me. I don't have no problem with that. So I appreciate you.
Okay, well, I mean, I kind of wrote down some things because I want to try to cover as much as I could because I didn't want to really miss nothing.
Uh,
And basically, the system is collapsing. Okay, you can look at the fires, you can look at the floods, you can look at the heat wave we have in the West Coast, the hurricanes, tornadoes. And that's because this current system does not care about the planet or the people. Global warming is real, and we as African people must find a solution. It's just a matter of time before this system totally collapses.
yeah.
We must find a way to detach from it. And in spite of everything that the colonizers have used to exterminate us, we are still here.
Uh,
And it's going to take resources. It's going to take funds to build our nation. We
right.
must create our own nation, and we must have a foundation in order to create foundations to fund what is necessary
Hmm.
so that we can resuscitate and move forward together to build physical and virtual corporate global communities. This is necessary in order for us to create and build intergenerational, economically, ecologically, and culturally to preserve all of our joint endeavors. Unity is the key. It's one of the reasons why I played that video from the brother from the All African Soldiers Party, because we got to put this, we have to come together no matter what affiliation you're with. It doesn't really matter because, you know, we're not under attack because of our religion. We're not under attack because of the affiliation, our education. We're under attack because the melanated pigmentation that we have within and without, can't
Right.
miss it.
Right. I just want to say this because a lot of people get caught up looking at the small stuff, you know, and by looking at the small stuff, they stay blinded to the big picture. So I just ask that whoever see this, don't look at the little things.
Mhm.
Look at the big picture. Step outside the box, because it's bigger than what you think it is. I mean,
Definitely. Yeah. And so, those are the reasons why it's important. Okay. We got to build our own. We got to detach from the system, basically, because it's collapsing. I
mhm,
mean, only person and the reason why most people can't see it because they got us caught up in this survival mode, don't have
mhm,
time to sit and think and meditate and really take a look at the big picture. Like the brother said, we're so concerned about our immediate needs, how are we going to pay this bill? How are we going to, you know, get some gas in our car? How are we going to get food on the table? When we need to start thinking globally, we need to start thinking generationally wealth.
mhm,
We need to maintain, because, speaking about Haiti at one time, they were able to feed themselves. You know what I'm saying? The people there was like a rural farm nation where they had farms owned by families. But, the USA, Bill Clinton and them, they conspired to basically take the land, okay, and move the people into the city, into the capital. So the people are congested in the city. So now they're dependent on import food now to survive. It shouldn't be that way. There's enough land in Haiti, enough land in South Africa, but no one to be starving right now. Nowhere on the planet. But under this system of colonial capitalism, it is. And so we must find a vehicle that will allow us to collapse time because they got like a 4, 5, 600 year head start on us. Okay. And we have found a vehicle that can help us collapse time. Okay. And we got to live by the creed of race first. Whites, Arabs, and Asians do. So why shouldn't we do the same thing? Okay. And we got to be open to learning new information and by using every means available
every
that's
means
legal,
available.
moral, and ethical to restore us to our divine glory. Okay. every means available. All right. Now, some people will say, well, you know, was it owned by white people? And I'll ask you, whose cell phone company are you using? Um, what grocery store are you going to? Where are you buying your clothes? You know, and then tell me, what is a black-owned business, really? Because I'm gonna give you an example. I know this brother, Henry Johnson. He owned office. It was called Johnson Office Products. Repaired typewriters. He repaired typewriters. Who made the typewriters? Okay, but this is a black company. He sold office furniture. Who manufactured office furniture? Think about it.
Yeah.
There's no such thing as a black-owned business that doesn't have to use resources from other people,
Yeah.
right? And so that's what we have. We want to be able to use every means available to collapse time, all right, to make up for this lost time. Okay, so you gotta be open to a new business model for the 21st century and be able to be coached by people who have achieved success in network marketing. And that's what we're doing. Network marketing is nothing less and nothing more than group economics at its highest level. Okay, because everybody wins. And what we're doing in Wealth Builders Worldwide, we're not selling anything. We're trying to teach people how to keep what they have and get more and build generational wealth and build a network. You know, I've heard it said that the rich and wealthy look for and build networks while everybody else looks for work. Okay. Now, this opportunity is not for everybody because we do need workers, but we need workers who can get paid a decent salary so they don't have to be struggling from paycheck to paycheck like they do right now under this system. And so if we can do this thing together as a family, as a unit, then we can create factories that's going to treat the workers fair. Okay. We can build institutions. We can build schools. We can do what for ourselves what other people are not going to do for us. You know, we got to do this. You know, reparations is due, but also internal reparations is due too. We got to learn how to. We have to start learning how to trust each other. Okay, we have to. Um, you know, and if we do this, if we can do this, if we do this, and when we do this, okay, one thing that we're going to be able to do is spend more time with our families. Spend time doing things that are more important than working 40 hours for 40 years and then trying to survive off of 40% of the income that we struggle to live off for 40 years. That's the system it's designed for. But there's a better way. But most people don't know, and most people are afraid to try another way. We have an opportunity that's free to register and learn and earn. Okay? And it's a simple plan. You see it right on the screen. We get paid in the #1 and #2 cryptocurrencies to promote our own G999 project, blockchain. A lot of people don't know nothing about blockchain. A lot of people don't know nothing about cryptocurrency. It's a whole new technology. It's like the internet was in 1990. All right. Most people just thought it was a fad. It's just going to come and go. But now we got little computers in our pockets. You know, we got little computers in our pockets that we can talk to anybody just about anywhere on the planet from the comfort of our home. So this opportunity you can build from the comfort of your phone. Like Todd Best, who was the founder of Wealth Builders Worldwide, said, all you need is a dream and a smartphone. And you could become a multi-millionaire from the comfort of your phone. But when you say that, some people, you know, they're skeptical
Yeah.
because it sounds too good to be true. But with modern technology, it's possible because people are doing it. We
And
know
look,
people that's doing it.
and look, I mean, when I first heard about Bitcoin, there was a thing called Coinbase, or Coins, my bad, Coins. And somebody introduced me to that platform. This was the first time I got scammed. And this was the first time I got introduced to Bitcoin. It was like I mean, Bitcoin came out in what, 2009, so it had to been around 2012, 13 or so. So
Wow.
Bitcoin had done went up a little bit by then. But it was a thing called Coin. Somebody introduced me to that platform, and I lost, a few $100 getting scammed over that on that because I knew nothing about it. So I'm here to tell you that I've been looking for this thing for a while. This online profitable business, something that I can rely on and invest my money into and build a foundation for my family. And I know I finally found it. when brother Kwame introduced me to this, I saw the light. So I ain't no turning back from me. I'm full forward with Wealth Builders Worldwide. I have all the trust in it and GS Partners, and I'm all in.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like our G999 cryptocurrency is a utility coin. It has more use than Bitcoin. I when I think of Bitcoin, I think of American Online. American Online was the first basically email that I knew of back in the day. I know some of you probably remember you used to say, "You got mail," and it was plugged into the phone line. It was slow, and it was, but that was the internet back then. But now look at it now. It's moving at the speed of thought.
For America Online, when they first hit out, I worked at one of the call centers down here in Jacksonville.
Okay, yeah. And now look at them. They're gone because better came along.
Right.
And better has come along. The G999. We already have over 100,000 members, community of people a part of this project. Bitcoin didn't have this, right? We have our own telecommunication device where we can send encrypted messages to each other where no one but the person you're sending it to can see the message but you and that person. We have DeFi where you can earn up to 5% interest on your savings account paid every 7 days. Your bank is not doing that. And a lot of people don't even equate inflation into their savings, not realizing that if you got your cash in the bank, you're losing because they're not even paying you a percentage of the interest. And inflation is running at 3 to 4% a year. You're actually losing your wealth. That's why people are working more for less as time goes on because the dollar continues to lose its value. Most people never even heard of the word fiat currency. It's a fiat currency. Historically, every fiat currency has returned to zero. That's a historical fact. And in 1971, Richard Nixon took the dollar off the gold standard. And you know why he did that? So they can continue to fund the Vietnam War, usher in the war on drugs. And the war on drugs was just a code word for the war on Black people and anti-war people who knew that that war in Vietnam was unjust and it wasn't right. Just like none of the wars is going on now, That's why we got to learn how to get from underneath this monetary system. And cryptocurrency is it's the people's money. It's not controlled by no individual government. It's controlled by the people. So this is an opportunity for everybody to become their own bank with the GS Lifestyle card that we have. Bitcoin don't have that. We got so much, and we got so much more coming. That I can't. This is not even the place and time to do that.
You can't get it all out at one time.
Right.
It's too much. You just got to plug in.
Right. And so what we do, we have presentations 6 days a week, twice a day at 12 noon, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can get with me, get with Benny, or get with whoever shared this opportunity with you, okay, to get that password so that you can tune in. It's on a website called goldrocks.info, but you need a private password because this is invitation only. Okay, we're not here trying to convince nobody to do this. We're sorting out. We're looking for runners. We're looking for leaders, people who want more out of life than just paying bills and dying. Okay, we want people who want to be able to leave a legacy for their children's children. See, what we're doing today is going to be able to feed children that's not even born yet. That's how powerful this thing is, And our coin right now, our cryptocurrency, our token, our G999, is at a bargain. It's at a bargain. Nobody told me about Bitcoin in 2009, but I'm so glad somebody told me about the G999 in 2020.
Bro, I don't accumulated more assets I don't ever had in my whole entire life, and I'm still accumulating.
That's it. And we get paid in assets. We get paid in number one and number two, Bitcoin and Ethereum, for helping other people save and accumulate more assets. We're not selling no lotions, no potions, no travel package, no vitamin pill. We're not selling you nothing. We don't want your money. We want you to want your money and grow your money. And that's what we're doing. You know, if you got 1 million G999s and that goes and when the coin hits $1, you're a millionaire. You're a millionaire.
I ain't even hit 1 million yet,
Right.
coins yet, but I know I'm still straight.
That's right, because it's going to go past that. The founder the chairman of the board, Mr. Joseph Haidt, said, we're going to be number one. We're going to be number one. And when that day comes, you can't tell us, you won't be able to say that we didn't try to tell you. You know, we're doing our best to get the word out to as many people as we can, as fast as we can. So, you know, we don't want to keep you. I don't want to try to go past an hour. So we got a couple of more slides that I want to share. And it's a real simple plan. Like it says in front of you, we get paid in Bitcoin and Ethereum to promote our own coin. And this is what it do. This is the Wealth Builders mission. Our mission to provide individuals worldwide with the tools required to enhance their lives, to achieve their dreams and build massive wealth. We are salespeople. We are a sales team, but we do not sell products, goods, or services. We sell people on the infinite possibility of their lives and the power of their dreams. We sell people on never giving up, and we know for a fact that this is a noble cause. That's a powerful statement there. Okay. I mean, I could read it over and over again because I'm just grateful that this is what we do. You know, we help people learn the power of their dreams and the infinite possibility of their lives. You know, we have been, conditioned with this low self-esteem because of all this anti-African propaganda has been drilled into our brains over the years, what we see on TV. But we're some powerful people, y'all. Yeah. We got to realize that, we're more powerful than we think we are and know we are. We just got to come together. Okay. So what do? You register and get a package. That's it. Mm-hmm. Three-way call, edify, you'll be in business for yourself but not by yourself. You got an army of people, of warriors here to help you. That's why we do the presentation. You don't have to know everything, because I don't know everything. Like Benny said, it's so much, we can't even get it out at one time. So we want to invite you to get on one of our presentations, okay? We have training every Sunday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, all right? Step 2, get yourself some coins, some gas, build your assets, build your assets, build your assets. Get that lifestyle card so you become your own bank. That's another stream of income. It's like, yeah, the lifestyle card gives you travel discounts and a whole lot of other benefits for having that card. Mm-hmm. So this is all we got to do. 4 steps: register, get a package, get some G999s, get your card, and just tell everybody that you know, like, love, care about, and that you meet along the way. That's it. Duplication and simplicity. Tell a lot of people, start three-way calls, get 100 people on your list, and invite people, and let's do it. That's all you got to do, y'all. So you got any closing